kids, it's Mrs. Compton, and today we're going to talk about not quadrilaterals, but we're moving on to triangles, kids. So we are going to look at the shapes behind us. Obviously, these are all triangles, and you can imagine if the word quadrilateral means four, because quad means four, you can probably guess that triangle means three because it has the word part tri in it, and tri means three. Like when you learned to ride a tricycle, it had 3 wheels. Okay, so let's check this out. There are different ways that we can describe triangles. So sometimes we look at their lengths of the sides and we look to see if they all have equal length. So I'm looking at this triangle right here, and every single side would measure the same thing if I took a ruler to it or if you counted the squares. So I can make these little lines right here. It means every side has the same measurement. Now, there's a special name for this. It's called equilateral. Try saying that 2 times fast. It can be a little tricky. So equilateral actually has that word part in it, equal. So it helps you remember that all of the sides are equal. So I'm going to try to write it right here. Equilateral. Equilateral. So this is an equilateral triangle. All of the sides have the same length. All right, let's check out these two. So these two are in the same category, even though this one is much smaller than that one. But the thing that's special about these is 2 of the sides have an equal length. So check it out. Let's look at B and see which sides do you think have an equal length. Do you think it's this one and this one? Or this one and this one? Or this one and this one? What do you guys think? If you guessed this one and this one, you guessed right. And then with C, you can probably just look at it and tell like that these 2 sides have equal lengths. Now, there's also a special name for this. It's not an equilateral triangle because only 2 lengths have the equal measurement, or only 2 sides have an equal measurement, excuse me. So this one gets a different name, and it's a word you may never have heard before, and it's crazy to try to spell. Here it is. It is isosceles. Isosceles. All right, weird, but when triangles have 2 sides that are the same length, they're called isosceles triangles. Okay, now you try saying that one. Okay, and the last one would be, well, if it doesn't have all 3 sides that are equal and it doesn't have 2 sides, then no sides are equal. And check this out. This one I tried to draw a little crazy, put it on a little tilt here. So all 3 sides have a different measurement. And guess what? This one also has a funny name, and you've probably never heard of this one either. It's called scalene. It's like it has the word scale in it. Scalene. Scalene. Like that. Weird. Okay, so we have, where'd I go? We have equilateral triangles. Say that, equilateral. Isosceles and scalene. All right, now that's one way to describe triangles. Now we're going to check out another way we can describe triangles. So remember, tri means 3. So they have 3 sides and 3 angles. So the angles are the other way that we could describe a triangle. So let's check this one out right here. So we have this one, and I put a special little mark in the corner here. And this mini version over here, I put it on its side, and this special little mark. So I want you to think about that. If you have this special little mark in the corner, do you know what that means? Do you know what it stands for? Say it if you know it. It means it's a right angle or a 90-degree angle. So I have this little piece of paper here. If I have this piece of paper and it's cut just like any other piece of paper, it has a 90-degree or a right angle right there, I could slide it in right there and it would match up perfectly, right? So it's a right angle, otherwise known as a 90-degree angle. Okay, so this one also has a 90-degree angle right here. What do you notice about this triangle? When one has a 90-degree angle, what happens to the other two angles? What happens to the other two angles? Are the other two angles bigger or smaller, or greater than or less than the 90-degree angle? Think about that. All right, think you got your answer? Okay, now I want to tell you there's a special name for these triangles. So you may have noticed that this triangle up here is pretty much the same triangle as this one. That's because a triangle can be two things at once. So it could be an isosceles, and this is called a right triangle. Well, that was an easy one since it's a right angle. So this is a right triangle. Can you even see that? Barely. Okay, so not only is it isosceles, but it's also a right triangle because it has a square that can go in the corner. Perfect 90 degrees. Okay, here's another one. Check out this angle. This angle is big. Let's see if I can get a different color on there. I'm looking at this angle right here, kind of tracing this. Sometimes you're going to see people not put a blue line like that, but they'll actually go like this, like I did in the last one. It's just showing you that we're looking at this angle right here where that curve is. Okay, now this angle is way bigger than 90 degrees. So that means it has a special name. And guess what? If you know the word for greater than 90 degrees or angle greater than 90 degrees, then you know the name of this triangle. So say it if you know the word. Did you say obtuse? If you did, you got it right. And if you didn't, then you're learning a new word with me today. So this is an obtuse triangle. When I was teaching third grade, we'd always say obtuse the moose because it just sounds so big, right? So you can remember obtuse means big, greater than 90 degrees. All right, now check out this one. Again, if you look at this one, you're probably thinking to yourself, that looks like, it could be isosceles because I think these two have the same size measurement on the sides. But we're looking at the angles now. So we want to describe this triangle by the angles. So check it out. Let's get our blue marker again. Look at that little angle there. And that one. And that one. Are those angles greater or less than 90 degrees? I guess you probably need to see it, huh? Are they greater or less than 90 degrees? If you said less than, you were right. Now, if you know the word for an angle that is less than 90 degrees, then you know the name of this triangle. So on the count of three, tell me. 1, 2, 3, tell me. I don't know what you said. Maybe you said acute and maybe you said, I don't know. So let's see. If you had this triangle and all of those angles are less than 90 degrees, it's called acute. And the way when I taught third grade that I thought that I remembered how to do this was the little angles were cute. You can just think about like a little cousin or a little brother or sister that's cute. Unless they're throwing a tantrum, then it's not cute anymore. Okay, just kidding, you guys. All right, so now it's time for you to check in with your teacher. Now that you know there are two different ways to classify triangles. You can either look at the size and the length of the sides, or you can look at the angle measurements. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.